Mistake Monday. We confuse consistency with rigidity. Consistency means a reliable, coherent philosophy that we've thought about. We want to be consistent. We want to have firm boundaries. We want to have rules that our kids understand and know what to expect. Rigidity, on the other hand, is when we become unwavering, even when it doesn't even make sense, when it makes things harder on ourselves, and when it makes sense to change our mind or to adjust things a little bit, but we don't because we feel like we have to stick to exactly what we said every single time. It's good to stick to what we say, but we don't have to do it in every single circumstance. So let's say your kid knows we're reading. I've said we're reading 3 stories tonight at bedtime. It's time. It's time for us to turn off the light. And he says, "Can I please have one more book?" Okay, so it's perfectly fine if you say, "No, we made a decision for 3 and we're sticking to 3 tonight." And then, of course, you can be empathetic about any feelings that come up around that. But it's also perfectly fine if it's early enough. You can check your watch. You know what? I think we do have time for one tonight, for one more, or even 2 more. Let's do it. And that way your kid knows that there might be some flexibility there. Now, one of the ways that sort of flexibility doesn't turn into a big nightmare for you is then you can actually teach your kids that when you get to the point where you say, we're done, and I'm not changing my mind, then you shouldn't change your mind. But it's really important that you are willing to be flexible when it makes more sense. Your kids will have lots of opportunities where they don't get their way, where there's no changing their minds, where there's no negotiation. So it's perfectly fine to do that. But the way you do it matters. So for example, if my kid starts whining and says, "I really want to read another story, please, can I have another story?" And I say, "Okay, fine." What I'm doing is I'm actually letting him know that it's sort of like when you negotiate with a terrorist, they know they can keep doing it. I'm letting him know if you whine and fuss and make a big to-do, then I probably will give in to you. Instead, what I will do is say some version of this. You know what? I've checked the time and I do think we have some time. I know I told you 3, but I'm going to change my mind about this. So I'm the one changing my mind. I'm still the grown-up in charge, but I'm also giving my child an experience where their input matters. I'm flexible in how I've set things up. We want our kids to have that kind of flexible adaptiveness, so it's good to model it as well. So keep in mind, it's great to be consistent, a philosophy, an intentional path, a way you're thinking about your goals and how you want to do things. But rigidity can just really get you in trouble, because if you are completely rigid and never change your mind about anything, your kids won't have the amazing experiences of learning to ask, negotiate, be having that kind of modeling happen. And honestly, when we're super rigid, it makes things so much harder on us. Sometimes the battles are not worth it. And it's totally fine to change your mind about something. All right, so don't confuse it. Consistency, good. Rigidity, not so helpful. Hang in there.